So, welcome to this episode of the Dreamers Succeed podcast. We are joined today by Volney Cortes, an amazing entrepreneur and just guru of all things digital marketing. He is the CEO and founder of Total United Marketing. Hi, Volney.
Hi.
I
Oh
am.
my God, a pleasure doing this with you.
Yes, I'm so happy that you're here.
It's amazing. We just spoke, what, a week
A
ago?
week ago.
And we're doing this,
Yes.
and it's a total new experience for me.
I love it. Well, I'm so happy that you're here. And guys, you guys are in for a real treat. I've had the pleasure of knowing Volney for several years now and still count my blessings that I get to call him a friend. So trust me, you're in for a real treat. So Volney, how are you doing? How were the holidays?
Very good.
Yeah?
Actually, amazing. And just with what you just said, it is absolutely reciprocal. You changed me, Berta. You are amazing. And I love the opportunity to do this with you.
Thank you. It's gonna be fun. Gonna be fun. So 2020, you ready?
Super,
You in?
super ready.
What's gonna happen this year? That's
I
different.
I asked you once in one of your presentations for your book, The Why is the Way,
Right.
if you had planned it. And you said something that is so remarkable to me that you did, but you didn't. There's no way to fully plan things. So I do have a plan for 2020, but I'm open for everything. And I think for most of us, it's going to be an amazing year.
No, I agree. I love that, and thank you for remembering that because I might not have remembered, but I think that's how you operate too, and we're both like that. And we're going to talk about your book coming up, published by July. No pressure here,
Yes,
but we'll
no
talk
pressure.
about that a little
July
later.
9th.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. So I did want to talk to you a little bit, Volney, because we have so many listeners that are business owners, and I know the importance of digital marketing, and I know that that's your forte. That is, your lifeblood. It's just you see things from a very different perspective, as far as what we can see when we're in the business.
Correct.
Now, tell me a little bit about what motivated you to really start your company to help business owners grow in that digital marketing space.
In my core, I'm a sales rep. I like to sell things. For whatever reason, it's sexy to me. I love it. So for, since I was 17 years old, my mom taught me. She got me into her own business. The best sales rep I've ever known is my mom.
Wow.
And if you see her, you would never guess that she sells that much. But just the way she carries herself was imprinted into me. And it built up just organically. And now we have this new era, digital marketing. The best thing that could happen to all of us. And we need to take advantage of it while we can. It is amazing, the statistics that we have right now for business owners. Just Google, I think this was at the end of last year, they came up with a number that only 44% of businesses are on Google.
Wow.
That is just extraordinary. It means that there's a lot of room for growth. So we need to get into this. Every business owner needs to take advantage of this opportunity. And it's super easy. By the way, many people don't know this. For you to be on Google and show up on Google, it's free.
Wow.
But you need to know what are the gravitational forces around that. That way it works for you. And that's became my experience.
That's
And
amazing.
and in every industry that I've seen it, be that staffing, construction businesses, insurance, real estate, it is amazing. One business alone can account for millions. Just for one of my last experiences, just by being in there, 1.3 million
Wow.
contract.
Wow.
So who doesn't want that?
That's crazy.
Everybody. And it's amazing. A lot of business owners still don't believe in it.
And I think what it could be that we're just not educated. We don't know really what's available. We hear a lot of talk about social media and things you can do, Facebook and Facebook ads and things like that, but we don't know. So I really would love to pick your brain on this podcast just so that you can take us through the organic way that you can bring a company to be known. Can you take us through just that little bit of,
Yes.
of the process?
Right. The first thing, how would you find what is not visible? It is nearly impossible. The first step, the most important step, show up. Be there. Be available. Be visible. Present yourself. Be that your brand, your products, your services, uh, initiatives, all of it. Even if it's a nonprofit or a for-profit business, show up. And people miss the opportunity to do that.
Wow.
They shy away from it, and they don't take advantage. I don't know if you ever heard of the word impressions
Sure.
in this digital world.
Sure.
It's just simplifying that expression is be there, be known.
Wow.
So the first step is the one where I like to uh, go a little simple on it. Show up even in the soup, everywhere. Just plaster your name all over the place. Use every tool possible. And that's what I squeeze out of the web or the internet. Just be everywhere.
Wow.
And that's the first step. Once you do that, then you can move into the next step, which is owning the click. People go, through different search opportunities or options available, alternatives. And you want to be able to make part of that slide through their screen, be that a phone, a tablet, a computer. You want your image to slide through it and be able to capture that moment. To me, timing became a synonym of destiny. You just show up at the right time, and then you own the click. That doesn't mean that it's a client. That is already a step away from it. Owning a click only gives you a lead. And this is what a lot of people try to go too fast over it. They need to slow down and understand this portion. First, you show up, then you own the click, then you get the lead. With the lead, the person is going to want to call you. And people just go too fast through the process and go all the way to lead. That lead, they're going to look at your information and they think that the person is going to stay there and read and read and read and read. I don't know, lately a lot of media experts talk about content. Content.
Right.
Yes, of course, it's important. But don't overdo it. Don't go too large on it. Try to minimize it to make it easy. People don't have that much attention span or that time. Everybody's busy. And you want just to capture the right amount of attention. And then is when they're going to reach out to you. And then you figure out if there is synergy, if you can supply what they're looking for, and it becomes a client. So that journey, it's amazing. People were doing it in a legacy marketing world, in a traditional marketing world. They were doing it over the phone.
Wow.
But 88% of people first look at their phones, at their tablets, before they make any type of purchases.
Wow.
They don't go over the phone, and they look at 4 different sites. This is statistics that is been gathered by a bunch of different institutions. So people have become smarter at buying stuff. They're researchers.
Yeah.
And there's a A nice little feeling about researching is that you feel that after going through different sites, you found the one. It's such a powerful feeling when they call and they immediately hear, yes, I have the solution for you. I call that the pirate experience. They were just looking and looking and looking, and they feel smart about their decision. You want to be there. But it takes 4 steps to be at that location. So sometimes it's very, very fast, which is wonderful for any business owner. And sometimes it takes months to go there. And but the results are always the same. It's such a beautiful feeling.
I love it.
Just selling. And I told you this at the beginning of our conversation. It's just sexy.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, sexy, because you're good at it. Now, Volney, let me ask you, because I know that there are parameters, and and I have some of the statistics that you shared with me. But I remember when you and I spoke last week, you talked a little, and I love the way you talk about owning the click. You make it sound sexy, the way that you. I mean, I just know that it's for you. It's an art. It's something that it's a gift
Correct.
that you have, but you just love. And you've embraced it to the benefit of
finding the way.
Of your benefit, the benefit of your clients. But we talked a little bit about the space, depending on what industry you're in and how much noise there is out there. Does that play a major role in this length of time that you're saying that the results are always going to be the same, but for some people it might happen faster than for others? What does that mean?
Yes, there are industries that already understood, what marketing or this digital marketing is about, and they figure it out so well, and it's very competitive. Those 3 markets are cars, insurance, and real estate.
Wow.
So those are very competitive markets to be in. I know that for experience. I'm a realtor myself, and I can see. And they also find out that there's a faster way to go about it, and that's with ads. But evidently, someone that has a startup doesn't have that much capital to go right away into ads. So there are smarter ways to go about it. You need to find which is the platform that best goes along with your industry, and they take advantage of it. And you don't need to go right away into ads. Yes, it is definitely a fast process when you go into ads. But before that, there is a bunch of things that you can do to make yourself known and be able to capture the attention of your target market.
Right. So would you say that there's a point where if you're well enough positioned, the ads are almost unnecessary because you're always going to be showing up, like you say?
Correct.
Okay.
You'll be surprised. Let's say art. You would think that artists would have figured out how to show up.
Right.
And no. By the way, one of my dreams, and this goes back to the question of what's 2020 going to be for me. I would love to connect to all the artists here in Florida.
Wow.
I think, and people don't know this, but it's such an amazing market. And we don't come up that strong.
Wow.
I don't understand why we have this beautiful area, this beautiful weather. My biggest invitation in this conversation that we have is for all artists. We can make this Florida flourish.
Wow.
It's a multi-billion industry.
Yeah.
And it's untapped, really, with everything. We have our basil, and it's great for us, but we can get a lot more.
Wow. That's amazing. And there really is. I mean, I think Miami, especially in South Florida, is just considered a hub for art. So why is there not more movement? I guess is what you're seeing. What's not out there.
Yes, because traditionally everybody thinks that you have to walk and go to one of these shops to see art. And there's an easier way. Just be digitally known.
Wow,
Is right there. Is so easy to do it. And that's my invitation.
that's
Reach out to
amazing.
me. I want all of them. I want all of them.
Good, good. I'm gonna send you a few mutuals, and I'm sure they'll hear this, so they'll be reaching out to you. But tell me what is probably one of the most eye-opening things that you've seen already happen, and what you've been able to do for your clients with this process of just making them known. Other than, and we'll talk about the rest of the digital marketing piece, but
Right.
something that you've seen that you say, you know, I'm telling you, this works.
Yes. There are two types of marketing strategies. One is global. It's a large area, let's say the entire US. And the other one is local marketing, which is, a county or a few cities, that original, if you want to call it. And the two go together, hand in hand, but they have a different way to go about them. So on the global side of strategies, this company, they actually didn't believe in digital marketing. And after 4 months of setting up, the whole structure, website and their social media, they have a first contract. It was two projects. Actually, the contractor was from another state, but they were building these apartments here in Miami-Dade. And it was two different contracts, one for 125 units and the other one like for 57. So you would think, oh, I have to own local market first to get business. Well, no, these people were from outside of the state of Florida,
Wow.
and they saw and there was no ads, nothing, just the setup. Actually, the website was kind of empty. It was just a shell.
Wow.
They didn't have that much content. I was just beginning to work on it. And in 4 months, they got the invitation for that.
Wow.
So that was a great experience. The other one is regarding local marketing. People don't know much the Google Maps, or actually for that matter, MapQuest or any of these map apps. They can get business for you.
Really?
So this gentleman was needing some installation, 62 units for a brand new hotel they were building. And they just happened to drive by close to the office. And just because they were in the area, that business was top of page.
So it picks it up if they're looking for
Right.
something
Right.
near them.
Correct.
Oh,
And he have to write down in Miami or Miami-Dade. None of that. You know that normally when you do any type of search, you want to narrow it down to the city or the location that you are in. That way, and this is another statistic that you're going to love. Normally, 90% of people do business within 50 miles,
Wow.
but only if the marketing is local marketing.
Really?
So it's amazing. People don't know this, don't know how to take advantage of it. So sure enough, he called. He before he called, he looked at the website and two other sites that we had set up with our information. He called and that was it. $437,000.
Wow.
right
That
there.
is amazing.
And that was within 3 months of
And that's
setting it
just
up.
organic. That is not an
That
ad. That is
no
not
paid ads. That's just
nothing.
absolutely organic.
It's positioning.
Correct. That is all.
Wow. So what would you say, Volney, to someone, because I know one of the points that you have here is about that need for professional advice. I think there are people out there who are in business. You even mentioned people who are starting out might not have the marketing budget for ads. I know that ads can get expensive. I know that they can be effective. But would you say that if they're putting their money into this organic way of just growing the way that they're showing up, what would you say for these people that might be on the fence if they don't know? You know, a lot of people are on the cusp of this new year and they're saying, you know, this is the year that it's going to happen. And listen, folks, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have to invest in your business. You want your business to make you money, you have to invest in your business.
Correct.
There is no way around it. I work with a lot of people. I work with a lot of coaches. I work with a lot of business owners, and they're not going to get anywhere if you're nickel and diming your business to death from the beginning. You're going to be nickel and diming your life forever because there's just no way around it.
Correct.
It's there's such a thing as being smart with where you're putting your dollars, obviously,
Correct.
but we do have to be willing to invest in our businesses if we want that return. That's just public service announcement for anybody out there who's walking on their elbows and just thinking, you know, I'm going to do this on my own. I Good luck and I wish you well, but I'm telling you, there's just no way around that part of it. So we talked a little bit about the importance of getting that professional advice. So
Correct.
what is the return, just spiritual, mental ease of, listen, this is being done for me and I will see the light at the end of the tunnel. What would you say, how important is that? Would you say?
As I was telling you before, showing up on any of these platforms is actually free,
Hmm.
but knowing how to do it is what's not free.
Right.
So evidently, you have to pair yourself up with someone that not only has been successful, but that has also made mistakes. So they
Yes.
know
Yes.
what
Yeah.
are costly mistakes and what works fast and what doesn't. Some of the opportunities or the alternatives that we have that are slow, they work really well. For
Hmm.
instance, a regular website can take up to 4 months to be captured by any of these search engines. So sometimes it can be a long wait.
Hmm.
So customers, business owners, they get stressed. They really get anxious about what is happening. Why is this not moving along? So there are other options. One of them, for short, they call it GMV or Google My Business,
Mm.
is super fast.
Wow.
Is extremely fast, and it allows people to make mistakes, small mistakes, and correct them right away. With a website, if you made a mistake, it takes you another 3 or 4 months to be captured.
Wow.
So it's slow, but once you're set up correctly, it works really well. Definitely, a website is something valuable for any
Hmm.
business, and people sometimes they don't put attention to it. They don't build into it. I like to call this a virtual sales rep, VSR. Is basically setting up a selling uh, person there is silent, is working for you all the
Hmm.
time. How bad is that?
Yeah.
How much does it cost for any business to bring in a business development manager to try to bring new business and do account management
Yeah.
for the existing one? It is
Yeah.
costly.
And they're not going to work 24 hours a day.
Correct. There is no
Yeah.
sleeping on this. This
Yeah.
it can happen all the time. And I love that you mentioned that. Many of the businesses that I've seen happening go into the website on the weekend.
Really?
for whatever reason. I think people, let's say someone is looking for any contractor, plumbing, electrical, whatever. And during the week, they have so much noise in their heads that it's difficult for them to concentrate on just one thing. And maybe on the weekend, that's when they do it.
Wow.
So this is the next thing. Evidently, when they call, you have to be available.
Yeah. Yeah.
77% of people that call a brand new website that they never done business with, if they call and nobody answers, they don't call again.
Really?
77%.
Wow.
Only 33% call back.
Wow. So what do you tell your clients when you're setting them up? And I know that you set them up for success, and I know you've got some great success stories already. But how do you set them up? I know that you go way above and beyond. I mean, you want to talk about the master of over delivering in value. This is Volney sitting right across from me. And I know that you look at a very holistic view of
Correct.
your customer, their business, their mindset. You put so many of these things that not your average digital marketing firm is going to be out there doing. So what do you tell them? Let's say in an example of this, for example, they have a static phone line in their office. What do you tell them with a scenario like this, with those statistics that are very in your face? 70% of the people are not going to call you back.
Yes. If you don't answer the phone at that time, probably you're never gonna see them again.
Wow.
You have to be available. For a business owner, and I know most business owners are gonna agree with me. They want to grow their business. They are doing anything and everything possible to make it work, even if it's working through the weekend.
Right.
Answering a phone call through the weekend, many times it's just going to be an informational, but at least you are going to capture important things like a name, a phone number, an email, and then you can follow up.
That's it. That's it.
That's all it takes.
Wow.
And people would understand. Hey, I'm with my family, but can I take your information and I'll make sure to follow up with you? People will honor that.
Yeah.
And they will wait for you because you picked up the phone.
I love that. I love it. I love it. And I'm a firm believer in it's still all this digital stuff and everything that we have to make life easier is great, but we still got to put in the work.
Yes.
I mean, that's never going to go away.
Yes.
So I love that you mentioned that, because that's something, a lot of people are like, no, I want to work a 4-hour work week. And that's great when you eventually get there. But to get to a 4-hour work week, you've got to put in 20-hour days, most days of the week. So that's a big one. So tell me a little bit about this Google My Business, because I had never heard of it.
Yes, and there is something, I think it was October last year. It is estimated that only 44% of businesses show up on Google My Business. And it's linked to Google Maps. Google Maps is basically a search engine on its own, just like YouTube
That's crazy.
And it's just as powerful. Now, the good thing about Google My Business is that you're really not showing up on one platform. You're really showing up on 2 platforms. You're showing up on Google Maps, and besides that, they give you a free website.
Really?
Customizable.
What?
How bad is that for any business?
Wow.
And it's free. And you'll be surprised. Things like this. You would have to wait sometimes on a Facebook page campaign to come up probably 2-3 months. If you're lucky, it will show up sooner than that. That's what we all hope for. Okay,
Right.
we're going to do it. And the Google system is going to read the page and it's going to pop up on first page if it's relevant. But with Google My Business, you You don't have to wait that much. Many times it happens instantaneously. If you
Wow.
make a mistake, if you want to do, uh, 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 um, you know, any type of optimization to it, sometimes it happens right away, instantly.
Wow.
So that's beautiful. There's no other way to say it. But then
Holy moly.
for me to get to this point, I had to spend years. Google My Business has been around since 2017, really.
Oh,
Before
okay.
that, it was just Google Maps.
Mm-hmm.
But evidently, they figured out that this was such an enormous force, and they turned it into Google My Business.
Wow.
So, to give you a perspective on how much of a force it's becoming, before, when you set it up, they would send you a code. If the company was already settled for, let's say, 5, 10 years, they would easily find out information about you, and you can do the confirmation over the phone with just a text message. But if you're a brand new company, they have to send you a postcard.
I
Sometimes,
remember.
right. So the postcard normally was said to arrive in 2, 3 days. That was at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Today is posted as 5 days, but it can take about 3 weeks.
Wow.
A bunch of people are jumping into this.
Demand. Okay.
I have 2 clients in Colombia,
Mm-hmm.
and
Nice.
theirs took 3 months.
Really?
Yes. So it is growing. It is the time to jump on it and to get the best out of it.
Wow.
It is really
And is this something that you do when you get a new client and you do the onboarding process? Is this just one of the steps that's part of your offering, or is this a separate?
correct. It is part. I have evidently my company is Total United
Mm-hmm.
Marketing. I try to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
I have a package that has all of it. It's $20,000 per year.
Right.
But I have broken that down into 7 different packages, if you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is this one,
Okay.
and it just works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
So do they each work independent of each other? And I'm sure the more stuff is going on, the more everything
yes, they
is growing.
entangle one into the other. They need to. Yes.
Okay. So what would your advice be? And I love that you talk about the little guy having a chance now, because their money goes a lot farther, and there's so many tools available to them, like you're saying, for free. If somebody has a very, very tight budget and they say, you know what, this year I want to start my business off on the right foot and I want to get things done, and they come to work with you, where would you recommend that they put their first marketing dollars towards?
I have 2 solutions.
Hmm.
One is for an individual. Let's say someone that sells insurance,
Hmm.
retirement, life,
Right.
all of these things. They on their own, they can own that 15-mile radius.
Wow.
Everybody, all the neighbors should know about him. I have a solution for that individual.
Nice.
Evidently, I have the solution for businesses,
Hmm.
and it also deals with being or owning that 15-mile radius. This is one of the best solutions to start with.
Okay.
Evidently, there is LinkedIn, there is Alignable, there's other
Right.
things that you can do, but this will be the starting point.
I love it. I love it. So Volney, tell me a little bit about who your ideal customer is.
Everyone.
Everyone. Yeah, because every business needs this.
If someone is selling cakes, if someone, I just started a conversation with someone that sells torches.
Mm.
They're decorative,
Right.
and it can be anyone.
Yeah.
You have an idea, you want to put it out there, a nonprofit business, you want to. I have a beautiful story. This is actually very close to my heart.
Hmm.
Is with my nephew, Juan Camilo
Hmm.
Cortes. He wants to become an engineer.
Wow.
So, and he's finishing high school right now this year in May.
Mm.
So I told him, most of students, they want to graduate from college or university, and then they want to put their name out. And I told him, we are not going to do that. We're going to reverse the process. I'm going to connect you already with everyone.
Wow.
You're not even in the school. You're not even in your college or your university, and I'm going to sell you already.
Wow.
So during the weekend, I set up his LinkedIn profile. That was my gift to him.
I love it.
And I sent out 120 invitations, all civil engineers.
Wow.
And I showed who Juan Camilo is, and what he's doing. He likes to play soccer. He's an excellent soccer player. All of these things in there, in his profile. And I sent out 120 invitations. 27 of them already responded.
Wow.
And one of them wants to bring him to do internship at his firm.
That's amazing.
I sold him.
Yeah. You sold him.
Why wait until you finish your bachelor's or associates or whatever it is to sell yourself? Do it from now. Build up your network. Let yourself be known. Show up. Don't be afraid.
I love
Don't
that.
shy away.
I love that, Volney. Man, that's genius. That's actually really good advice. People see, and this is what I mean. Because that applies to a college student, like it applies to someone who's thinking of starting their own business, who has an idea for a 5-year plan, and that's their retirement to get out of their 9 to 5. You have to really start. I love that you said that, showing up now, so that by the time that you get there, if you have to start building it at that time, it's going to take you forever.
Correct.
But holy
Don't
moly,
shy
that's
away.
amazing.
Don't go into a corner of life. Be on the light, under the light. Let everybody see you.
I love
shine.
I love
That's
that.
it. That's it.
Holy moly, I love that. And now that you mentioned your nephew, tell me a little bit about this trip you just took to Colombia this summer with a bunch of youngins.
Yes, this was my first time with my 2 nephews and my daughter. So I love adventure, safe adventure, of course. I love just the outdoors. We all live in cities. We're looking at a wall, all the time. So when I found out that we were able to do these trips, I was just so excited. So the first thing that I did, I have them jump from the mountain with a parachute. They call it over there parapente.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right term.
It's a hang gliding. Hang gliding.
Yeah, I think that's the correct term.
Yeah.
And they couldn't believe it. That was the first strike to their perception,
Wow.
core. Then we went up the mountain. Actually, there was a little, concern inside of me because probably 15, 20 years ago, there was a lot of guerrilla presence in those mountains. It's not anymore, safely or fortunately now. And we did that. We went up the mountain and then came down. We, swimming in the river, cold water coming. It was just amazing. I love adventure, and I wanted to show them that life is way more than what we think.
I love it. I love it.
We need that thrill.
Yeah, and the kids need to know that's normal. I mean,
Yes.
if we can get them used to that being normal and adventure and being outside and just living the way we're meant to, because I think what's beautiful about your business is that it's sort of a laptop lifestyle.
Correct.
You can do it from anywhere. You're making tremendous strides and impacts in the businesses of your clients, but you're not confined by time and space, which is beautiful.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. So, Volney, tell me a little bit about what I would find if I looked you up in the dictionary. what would it say?
You got me. Oh my God. Um, I like to think myself. Uh, First of all, uh, I asked God one day that I want to be surrounded by women, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and He responded, but not in the way I was thinking. He gave me an amazing mom. I'm the product of a single mom, and I'm a super proud dad of a wonderful daughter.
Yeah.
And my world starts there and expands. My brother, my nephews, and I'm just feeling lucky that I'm all of those things inside family. So if they look me up in a dictionary, just a happy man.
I love it.
Just life is beautiful.
Yeah, I love, and I know that that's you at your core. So tell me a little bit about this book, guys. January 9th. That's it. The date is set. It's going to be published. Tell me a little bit about what we're going to find in that book.
Dreams. That was one of the things that I immediately connected with you.
Mm-hmm.
Dreamers succeed. I Dreams are definitely something that we have to have in our minds every day, every second of our lives. So it's about dreams. It's about the connection between dreams and life, and how mysterious and marvelous and sometimes terrifying they can be.
Mm-hmm.
It's about that.
Yeah, I
I want to
love
leave
it.
it just at that.
I love it. Good, good. Because I got a little bit of an inside scoop, but yes, we'll leave it there and leave the tease. So, Volney, you talked a little bit about, and I think one of the most beautiful things about you is your realness. I mean, you have this aura about you, and what comes out is, and I think that's another reason why we connected.
Yes,
What you see is what you get.
true.
It's just that you're like all good. So people might be wondering, oh, is this, but you're very real. And in that realness, there's always a sense of vulnerability. And you talked, and I meant to make a note of it, but you talked a little bit about how one of the biggest things that you do with your clients is you help them. And listen, with the vulnerability of, these companies want to seem like everything's been perfect. Listen, we don't learn if we don't make mistakes.
Yes,
So you talked a little bit about what that's going to do to your clients, because you've run the gamut and you know what works and what doesn't work, and you could only have learned that from those mistakes.
yes,
And you and I talk a lot about the importance of those mistakes and the struggles that we have. We had just a crazy heavy 2019, but that there's always light and lessons. What's been one of the biggest lessons that you've had that you think has contributed to this mindset that you have of just moving forward and following your dreams? And
I feel in coming back to our connection, I know that there is great good in people.
Mhm.
Sometimes they forget it and they make mistakes and end up hurting other people. Uh, just don't listen to that. Don't come back too much into the hurting of the memory. Come back to the memory, but not to feel hurt again,
Mm.
to feel empowered. And it's amazing. I met wonderful people last year that have gone through way more than what I have in my life, way more. And they're smiling, and they're happy,
It's amazing.
and they're striving, and they're moving forward. So I look at my little dramas and think, why do I have to hold back? Why have to I feel stuck? No,
Mm-hmm.
I want to follow that lead. And that's what I want my daughter to learn. That's what I want to share with my family, with my mom, with everyone. There is so much beautiful things to do. Make mistakes.
I
And
love it.
once you make a mistake, own it and say, yes, I made a mistake. I said or did the wrong thing, and I'm going to correct it. So, coming back to businesses,
Mm-hmm.
reviews. That's where a lot of people think that they need to hide away from reviews.
Mm.
You want reviews.
Wow.
And if you get a really bad review, you want that review. Public relations, most of the time, are built on conflict, on something like this. You have to tap into it. Don't shy away. Confront it. Be truthful. Yes, we mess up. Give us another opportunity.
Wow. And
Move
see, that
forward.
angle I hadn't heard, because I think people are allergic to bad reviews.
Right.
But there's a way to rebuttal and really shine, like you're saying.
Absolutely.
And that PR side of saying what you're really made of. And listen, we're owning it, we're taking responsibility, and we're going to fix it.
Correct.
Ah, that's a great angle.
And don't. I'm gonna give a secret of digital marketing strategies. At the beginning, when these bad reviews would show up, what they wanted to do was create more good reviews and buried the bad review and get a better average. Let's say if it's 5 stars, 4.5, 4.3, whatever it is. My mindset is totally the opposite. Show that bad review and show that you are taking care of it, that you respect people. We're emotional human beings, and people react out of emotion. And sometimes that's reflected on that review. They did really bad for us. The language sometimes get really crazy. Respond to it with education, knowing that we're human beings, that we make mistakes. Be real.
Right.
We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And it makes much, much sense to do that than to try to make appear people to be perfect.
I love it. Wow. Yeah, and that's a great angle, because I think what happens is there's so much fear around that listen, maybe, and you said the statistics, 40%, 4% or whatever that don't show up. Maybe they're afraid. Well, if I show up and I'm putting myself out there and I'm getting a bad review, and then it's all over. You know what? It's all over if you're not getting business. Anyway. So,
Correct.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Many people, they have, let's say, use Yelp as a platform.
Right.
They know what I'm talking about. And evidently, Yelp knows this. And they're very well known to keep bad reviews up and not show up the good ones.
Right. Wow.
Well, don't be afraid of it. If you cannot address it under that platform, there's a bunch of other platforms. And you can show it. You can do a screenshot of it and show off, we're taking care of this.
Wow.
We can handle this.
That's amazing.
We're that good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's an opportunity, like you said, to shine. So Volney, really good information. Loved everything that I've heard. And see, guys, this is what I mean. Super service, super let me give as much as I can give, and use that information. I pray that you will be able to use that information to grow your businesses. Volney, tell us how we can find you.
239-699-2008. That's my personal number. I always answer the phone. I'm always available.
It's true, guys. He really does. Good. And I'll have some more information. So Volney, if you were giving advice to your 18-year-old self, what would it be?
Be bold. I was very shy.
Really?
Very shy. Be bold. You can do it. You can handle it.
I love it. Great way to end this podcast. Thank you, Volney, for being here. Thank you for sharing so much with our listeners. And I hope you'll come back, because I know things are always changing.
Yes, July 9th. I want to be back.
I love it. All right, folks. Thanks for listening. Remember to do good, be great, and go outside and play. It's a beautiful day out there. Have fun. Thanks for listening to the Dreamers Succeed podcast. If If you like our show and want to know more, check out dreamersucceed.com/podcast and please leave us a review. It helps out a lot unless you think it sucked. Just kidding. We know you loved it. We have a new show every week, so we hope to see you next time.